Okay, so welcome. Have you all already taken admission over here? No, you're still we are waiting. Okay, good. So I'm going to speak very briefly, and then I'll invite Dipti to kind of make the presentation as to why. Uh, I mean, some of the basic things about why the school is, you know, um, different from why the school is different from the other schools. So I want to make I'll say, I mean, there are 100 things about the school which makes it different from the other schools, but I want to kind of point out at, you know, broadly three things. One, uh, this school is started. It's a only school which is completely started, managed, and run by architects. There is no politician, there is no business person, there is no, uh, any other person from any other profession. But this is the only school in the country which is run, which is managed, operated, run completely by architects. There are a couple of other schools like us, but who are not completely run. There are some people in the management who are also, but again started by architects. But we're the only ones who are still kind of, uh, fully architect. And that does many things because these are architects who know the field, who know the what is relevant to be taught. These are practicing people. They're people who know what needs to be done. And amongst them was Arvind Adarkar. Arvind Adarkar, we lost him when we started the school. But there are 8 other people. Neera Adarkar, who is an important figure in the city of Bombay and Maharashtra and amongst the early women architects in this country. There are very few who are engaged in full-fledged practice. Neera is one of them. She is the chairperson. Ravindra Punde and Savita Punde run the largest landscape firm in this country and are doing a whole lot of different works. Pankaj Joshi is again another important figure. He was again in news yesterday for, for changing the development plan to include voices of the Kolis of urban villages in the city of Bombay. So he's kind of, he's an urban researcher, but he's also a conservation architect. Arun Kale is an architect. He's doing housing projects, but one of the most important project is the museum at Wardha, which is the Gandhi Museum at Wardha. Rupali and me are involved with urban research. We work as artists, but also as architects. And Gauri Joshi is an architect who's done several buildings here in Mumbai, but elsewhere in Maharashtra, but also in Goa. She's a consultant to Goa government, along with Pankaj Joshi. So this school is a joint initiative between two sets of people. One is this group and the other is this group. And who is this group? This group is not these two persons. These two people are there on our board, but this is the Suvidya Prasarak Sangha. Suvidya Prasarak Sangha is a group of 1,200 residents around this neighborhood. So this building is owned by not one person but by 1,200 people actually. And that's the beauty of this building. It's owned by the community, so they take care of it. They know what's happening. They kind of take care of the people around. And what is also important is now 50 years. When we started, it was 40 years. So it's they run 4 schools and many vocational institutions and colleges and other things. So C is a joint initiative between the two trusts. The second reason why you should be joining C is because of its teachers. I think again we will be the only school in this country with the highest number of full-time teachers to its students. You'll see a lot of teachers in the websites of many schools, but they are not full times. I mean, we have visiting faculty which we don't even mention actually, but these are people who kind of associate their names, but they're not really part of the school in a planning way. But we are a group of 15 people who are part of the school in a full way, and these are people uh, who are significant and important for the uh, uh, they've they're achievers in their own way. Rupali, I've already introduced myself. I've already introduced Gauri. I've already introduced Apurva, who just went out. She's a illustrator, artist from and studied at the uh, University College London. No, London University of Art. Dipti Binderkar, who will speak in a moment, is an urban designer. She's the first employee of C and also a gold medalist 2 times from Bombay University. Dushyant is here. Dushyant Ashar is here. He's a computational expert. What is computational expert? People talk of AI in many schools. They talk of technology. We have our own technologist, Dushyant. And Milind. Milind is not here at the moment. He had to go. Both of them studied in Germany, one at the Stadelschluss, the other at Stuttgart. Prasad Khanolkar is a planner, studied planning at Cornell University, has a PhD from University of Toronto. He used to teach at the IIT Guwahati. Pradnya is there. She's again another technologist from CEPT University. Richa Shah is also there. She studied history and theory from CEPT University. Rohit Muzumdar is a planner. He's not here at the moment. He's studied planning from School of Planning and Architecture in Delhi. Shayan is studied at the Bauhaus. He's an architect. Bauhaus is one of the most important architecture schools in modern world. So it's one of the earliest and the first schools of architecture in the world. It's in France. It's in Germany, sorry. Tushar Rajkumar, again another technologist. Yeah, Tushar. So you see all the bamboo work there. It's all his work. He's from CEPT. Vastavikta, she's not here. She's another gold medalist from Bombay University last year. So she's also an illustrator artist. Abhijit is an environmentalist, but also a GIS specialist. Kaushik is an artist from Shantiniketan. Pratik is an engineer, structural engineer and a civil engineer. Saurabh is an environmentalist. Mithili is an environmentalist, and Tamal is an artist from Shantiniketan. So, and this is our administrative staff, so you will be meeting them more often. But what is important are these 2 gentlemen over here, Sunil and Pawan. They trained prototype designers, prototype makers, and one is a trained carpenter. So we have, I think, the only architecture school which has a carpenter in its roll call, as a teacher. These are our advisors: Amita Bide from Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Ajit Ranade is an economist. He used to work with Ranade with the Gokhale Center of Economics in Pune. Kiran Kapadia is an important architect, has been doing a lot of housing projects in and around Mumbai, but also elsewhere. Uday Atwankar is the founder of IIT's IDC, the Industrial Design Center. Madhushri Datta is a filmmaker. Neelakanta Chaya was the dean of the Department of Architecture in CEPT. Mitra Parekh, she was the uh, she's a cultural theorist, but she was the head of the department for English literature in SNT University. Sameep Padora was a dean uh, till recently of CEPT University, and Deepak Katawala is a ex-head of NEERI, the National Environmental Engineering Resource Institute from Nagpur. So these are our advisors. So basically, this is the second reason, because the people are good, and you can verify it from elsewhere also, that one of the strongest teaching team in this country. The third reason why you should be joining C is because we take education very seriously. And what do I mean by that? I don't mean others don't take it seriously, but we take it very scientifically also. So we did a series of studies on uh, on architectural education. We studied around 20 universities with 200 colleges under them, and we found the lacunae as to what is happening across, and we filled in those gaps. So our curriculum is a curriculum which has been developed after studying the state of education and the state of the market and the state of architecture. And going through the 5 years at C, you will go through these 10 large courses. These are the 10 things that you are taught as to what to do, actually. And and these 10 things, if one goes through, and of course there are other things that happen simultaneously, but these are the 10 main things that you go through in your different years. It includes studies of form and experience, a detailed study of how we experience things and space and how we behave in that space. We look at materials and technology, we look at environment, we look at a whole series of architectural theory, the architectural vocabulary, we build architectural vocabulary. And of course, we are interested in the question of mass housing and stuff like that. And so C is also, we see education as one of the things that the school does. The school also does. A school is not a, I mean, we are different from a coaching class model where you go in the morning and leave in the afternoon, and and you study and give your exam and then done. C is a larger ecosystem which enables you to grow in a very specific way. And that ecosystem consists of of course, education is one, but all the practices, because each one of them, people sitting here, are practitioners themselves. So C is a collection of practices of them, of the group of trustees who are around it, and also the group of people associated with it. And we see students passing through these practices. And this ecosystem is made with research at its foundation, because each one of these teachers are researchers producing new knowledge. In fact, the new knowledge that they produce is now adopted by many universities and colleges elsewhere in their courses. And C also encourages, on one hand, internal research and research-based education, but on the other hand, it encourages a constant engagement with the world. And that is done through our specialized courses, where we invite offices to do their, elsewhere people invite offices to pick up students, but we invite uh, offices to come and teach. We also invite offices to kind of, evaluate us, to look at what we are doing. But we also invite practices to come and present their work, and that happens so yesterday evening there was a presentation in this particular room. I want to tell you about this room. This room is a multi-purpose room. It's just developed, still under development. But basically, uh, this is the C design and art space, and we kind of, we've opened it up now. External things are still pending to be done, but the whole idea of how architecture can be, and at very, very minimum cost, so this place is made with minimum cost, where you all are sitting at the moment, and everything is done in-house. Yeah, so C-City, and then the annual exhibitions, a whole lot of this exhibition. This was the room earlier. And every Monday we discuss the world with the students. Every Monday there is, like, last Monday they discussed Tukaram Munde's initiative in the city of Bombay to clean up restaurants, so they discuss a whole lot of things. The student initiatives. There are, of course, huge number of field visits and city walks, and and that happens everywhere. The office visits of architects, uh, uh, visits to other laboratories, other spaces, uh, and I think we're the only school in the city of Bombay at the moment which has an accessible open space. There's one other school which has an open ground, but we are the only school with an accessible open space, which people have access to, the students have access to. Otherwise, Bombay schools are usually, of course, there are imperatives of real estate, but they're trapped in 2 floors. Every year, one class feeds the school for 4 days. Now, every day, one class feeds. So this is the third year, and this is the second year feeding. No, this is the same third year which is feeding the entire school. So this is called Sea Feast. Basically, that happens in January, where one class cooks for the entire school. I'm going to let Dipti kind of talk about this, but I'm going to talk about the schedule in a little bit of detail. And this is the third reason why you should join, an extended third reason actually, because from all those studies of education, of all those studies that we've done on education, this is how our year looks like. Now, in this schedule, so on the y-axis are the uh, uh, weeks. These are the weeks, and on the x-axis are the semesters. So we are currently on August 14. So we are on the 11th week, and on the 11th week, currently there are different subjects going on. So if you notice, these are one large subject. One large subject goes on for 10 weeks. So a day is not divided into 3 subjects or 4 subjects, but a week, one subject is given 10 weeks. One subject is given 5 weeks. Another subject is given 5 weeks. So there are three subjects which happen, and within that, then there are other small, you know, specialized lectures which go on, which happen. So, for example, this seven, if I enlarge it, it looks like this. So there is a field study involved, there is a culture studies involved, there is a technical course involved, and a mechanical course involved. All these things course involved, and this course, which we call as modules over here, is a cultural type course. So those 10 things that you saw, those are basically the courses. And this is an innovation of the School of Environment and Architecture, the module system, which is basically thinking of a semester as a set of blocks: 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 10 weeks courses. And the way you think about it is that you study physics, chemistry, mathematics, biology, English, whatever. But here you study an object or a built form in which there is physics, there is chemistry, there is biology, there is mathematics, there is everything. Because we believe that a building is made up of all of these things. So it is important for all of these things to be taught together and studied together, because all of these things impact you. So, and that's why subjects are clubbed together to make into one module, into one course, and that is awkward. And this has become very popular. A lot of schools are now following the schedule. So, this is another innovation. So, my 3 reasons why you should be joining C. Of course, I think there are 1,000 more reasons. Come, Dipti.
Academic course runs at the school. So the school is open from Monday to Saturday. Monday to Friday are the courses from 8 to 1:30, and 1:30 to 4:30 are your C assembly sessions or discussion sessions, which are organized by the student council members. So essentially, through the week, when you're doing one module, you will do that module over, say, a 6 week or 10 week chunk, and then you will have several other theory subjects and technical subjects which will feed into the knowledge of that course. You have a full-fledged resource center, which includes the library and the workshop, which is open from 8 in the morning to 8 at night. You have your studios with you from 8 to 11 p.m. You can stay during juries. There may be requirement where you want to stay overnight. You need minimum 10 people to be there, but you can stay together and work here, continue to work here, because 50% of our students are from outstation. So they are staying in the neighborhood in a rented facility. So when they come together, they can work, do their group assignments together. Uh, in addition to what Prasad spoke about the module system, I'd like to add 2 points. One is about the field visit. We strongly believe that architecture cannot be learned only in the studios. So the learning extends beyond the studio and the four walls into the field. It is very important for the students to know their context and to become sensitive to their environment if they have to intervene within that. That orientation we start from the first year onwards. Each year there is a settlement study which is planned with a specific focus. In the first year, we take them to a fishing village or an agrarian village where they understand how the build form and the economy is connected. You need to understand the community, their needs, their requirements in order to go and intervene or to reflect as to what are the kinds of development which can happen in that place. In the second year, we take them for a major documentation studio, again into a smaller neighborhood cluster where they identify what is the type of type of the build form which is emerging, and what are the lived experience of a space. Because as an architect, it's not about only building the skeleton or building raw building, but it is important that we evaluate the building after people start inhabiting it. So we try and take the students onto the site for 7 to 10 days, where they go, stay with the people, talk to the people to understand what their experiences of the build form are. In the third year, we take them to an environmentally sensitive site, where you understand that your environment is not limited to humans occupying it, but there is a more than human dimension to life and living. And how do you try and intervene in a location which is sensitive with that environmental concern? So each year there is a study tour which is planned. One key thing is that this study tour is planned entirely by the students. So all the organizations like the Sea Feast, all the organizations are done by the students themselves. It becomes very important for us to develop an attitude of learning with the students. So they learn larger management to make sure that when they are organizing, they have to cater to 40 different choices, preferences, and how do you cater to them, or how do you make sure that your arrangements are comfortable for all. All of this is, of course, done in guidance with the faculty members, but it is important that they develop their own way of managing things as they graduate from the school. So at the end of the first 3 years, we make sure that the students are aware of the entire building making process, from design to what goes onto the site, who are the stakeholders, whom do you have to communicate to, what are the kind of drawings which are required. At the end of the third years, there's a portfolio which is kept, we'll circulate that. That is a portfolio which is an output of Revit. Basically it's an individual portfolio which is done by the student for their own design, where they produce working drawings, they write specifications, they detail out their design, and finally come to the costing of the project and understand how the entire scheduling for the project is done. So at the end of the third year, you are completely aware of how do you build onto the site, from design to working drawing and specifications and estimation is what we complete by the end of the third year. The fourth year and the fifth year, we try and focus on choice-based courses. So in addition to the 8th semester internship, which is mandated by the university, there's a 1-month internship which is provided along with the choice courses for the third, fourth, and the fifth year, where we try and encourage the students to go out, work in some offices, but at the same time, we provide them with specialization courses, be it from interior design, product design, landscape, urban design, because now architecture, it was always, but now growingly it is becoming very multidisciplinary, and students have been diversifying their practice a lot, which is important for them to kind of get a hang of as they are doing their 5-year course at the school itself. So they get 3 options to choose their choice of course and see which is the expertise which they want to take on, or which is the specialization which they want to work with. Uh, One more thing which I want to talk about is the way we introduce the students to the softwares. We start from the second semester itself, where you start by learning basic AutoCAD and a 3D software of SketchUp, InDesign, and Photoshop. This is where you build your foundation of understanding that the digital tools are available to you along with your hand drawing. At the same time, each of the courses in the subsequent years, starting from semester 3 onwards, will introduce you to a new software. So you get introduced to Rhino, you start working with Grasshopper. By the end of the third year, you are introduced to Building Information Management System, which is Revit, where you would understand that your entire building making process can be handled through a single software. So softwares are not taught as a separate class, but they are integrated into the course. So as you work towards the course, you learn all of these skills together. So when you are going for your internship in the in the 8th semester, you're well equipped with all the softwares which are required or used by the offices around. We'll just briefly talk about the student performances. These are several awards where the students have participated, almost 50 plus awards where students have really performed well and got awards. Just yesterday, this is the second time when our student have been nominated for the National Award by Council of Architecture for thesis in both the categories. They usually have the awards in two categories. One is for the architectural thesis as a project, and the other is with a social concern. So in both the nominations, both these students, Varun Shetty and Swara Chaudhary have won the awards, and they will be presenting at the national finals in Jaipur. Uh, Along with that, just giving you a profile of what our graduates have been doing. Most of the graduates have almost now, some of them have completed their post-graduation studies. 11% have almost started their practice. They've been working with different architectural offices across India. And the feedback which we have got from various offices where our students have done internship or have been working post-graduation is that they are thinking individuals. So they are someone who is bringing their opinion into the practice, and which makes a lot of difference because it is not only about producing drawings which are being told to them, but having a say in the design process itself. And most of the offices have come back to us to tell us that our students have been very critical, but at the same time have been very helpful in the process of design thinking. Several of them are doing their post-graduation studies in India and outside India. Yeah. So I'll just briefly talk about the admission process. We have 40 seats, four seats in addition, which are for the economically weaker sections, which are filled in by the state CET cell. We have just concluded round one for CAP, and we have 8 vacant seats for round two. But the entire process of admission happens through the state CET cell. We do not have the management seats. We've always surrendered our management seats to the government, so the entire 40 seats will be filled through the cap rounds. However, at the end of the cap rounds, if there is any vacant seat, then that will be conducted at an institute level. So we have just today released the vacant seat form, and those of who are unable to get through the cap round should fill up that form. These rounds will be conducted at the end of the 4th cap round, starting from 12th of September. But the forms are out, they are on our website, so you're most welcome to fill them up. This is the basic outline of the fee structure. It is also available on our website. We also do understand that there will be several students who may have financial concerns to deal with and may not be able to at times afford, say, the tuition fee, development fee, or the study tour fees. And as a school, or as the trust who started the school, we have been very supportive with all the students. We have always made sure for last 12 years that there is that education doesn't stop for anyone just because they are unable to pay for the fees or the stationery or the study tours. So there are several scholarships which are available if you get admitted through the cap rounds. There are several scholarships which you can apply through. But in addition to that, those cap rounds, the Society for Environment and Architecture every year floats a financial support scheme for the students. It is based on their performance, but at the same time, it is based on in-depth scrutiny of if the students really need that support. And we have, for the past 12 years, almost supported 20 plus students as the school to complete their education at the with the fees. Um, in addition to the financial aid, we have been very sensitive with respect to the learning curves of each of the students and the current stresses which are in and around us now in the present times. We have a full-time counselor support at the school. We also understand that there might be certain students who may need an additional time. So there is a peer support which is provided. At the same time, there is additional mentoring which we provide. There are submission concessions given in case there is a requirement based on the medical concerns. There are some students who enter the school in the first year who are not fluent with the language of English, and English being the language in which we teach, we make sure that we provide them additional classes in order to make sure that they are comfortable when they come into their class and speak to others or present during the vivas. So additionally to the academic learning, there is an extensive support system which the school and senior students of the school along with the alumni run for the students here. Uh, as I mentioned, there are almost 50% of the students in each class who are from outstation. The student council has made this list together for the students to acquire rented flats around here. So this is the broker list. The neighborhood in which the school is located is a residential neighborhood, so it is very easy to get in a flat to stay. The 4 people, 5 people can share the flat and stay together. So during the admission process, we also collect names of the students who are looking for accommodation. We put them in touch with each other so that they can form their groups and look for accommodation together. This is the current round one cutoffs for each of the categories. These are also available on the state CET cell. These are last year's cutoffs just for reference, but of course this time it's a percentile system. So last year it was out of 200. So that is the difference between the two scores. And this is our choice code for School of Environment and Architecture, and we wait to see you at the school. Prasad, you want to talk about, call Prasad to make the
Talk about two, three things. One is our campus. You'll see all these dogs and cats running around. So the term environment is in our middle name. So it's like an environment for us is whole lot of species and whole lot of uh, plants and everything that that grow, but also all the cultural aspects of human beings, and all and all these animals that you see are born here. So now you can't throw them away. They're all born here. One of them has been brought in by our student, adopted by our student, but they're taken care of, and it's an animal friendly campus. uh, you know, and a lot of people taking care of them, and they're kind of well maintained. The other thing that I want to talk about is something, you know, a lot of people have asked us, so when we Google you, why does your name doesn't appear amongst the first 10? So when we Google which are the best colleges of architecture in this country, why doesn't your name appear in the first 10? So we did some investigation, and this is for also our existing students. So there is one, the first one is College Dunia, which appears, you know, and College Dunia ranks us at some 8, 9, 10 or whatever. So we asked College Dunya the basis. How are you ranking? And then we found there is a student of ours who has written, they said based on the reviews of students. Then we asked them which reviews. So reviews that they said below. So there is a student of ours which we asked, which has written a review in College Dunya. So then we asked that student, have you really written this review? So then she said, I have not written any reviews. And then she asked College Dunya, why did you print a review which is not written by me in my name? And the College Dunya representative responds saying, since you did not write the review, would it be acceptable if we remove your name from the post and change the author to anonymous? And we did this consistently with many of them. In another case, Nandita, who's another student, threatened them, saying that she will, file a case against them for using her name. So immediately she got a response saying that we have removed your name. We asked another agency the basis for how do they kind of, So they say, we would like to clarify that ranking in particular article was based primarily on online presence and visibility of the institutions, rather than a comprehensive academic or institutional ranking methodology involving parameters such as faculty placement, infrastructure, academic outcomes, and other weighted criteria. Scam. And the thing is that the way it works is every day our administration gets